G'day, g'day, and welcome to Dog Shadow Gaming, the channel where we live to game and game to live. As always, I'm Belth, and today we are looking at another legendary Total War 3 Kingdoms Let's Play or playthrough. As always, guys, we'll do 2 episodes. Whatever gets the most likes, we'll then continue on. Now, this will be on legendary difficulty for both the campaign and the battles, and we'll get all into the action after this. Okay, welcome back, guys. Let's get into it and learn about Cao Cao.
Chaos forges agents of power.
Cao Cao watches dynasties fall and tyrants rise. He has seen power slip into the hands of the undeserving, and through the chaos, plots a path back to order by his hand.
Okay, so Cao Cao is a strategist. He is a strategic mastermind. Now, he is a commander, which is great because he's leading the whole sort of... out of the 3 main ones, he's one of... most of them are commanders. There's a couple that aren't. Sun Jin isn't. He's a sentinel, but most of them are commanders. Now, he has a couple of bonuses. Minus 10% upkeep for cavalry, which is his actual units are renowned, so that's great. Plus 15 military supplies, which helps us a little bit when we're in enemy territories to stay in there and give us a little bit more staying power. Now, his unique faction resource is credibility. That's his unique faction resource, and this basically enables it's a mechanic that builds up over time, and then you get to spend that bar up the top there on inciting proxy wars. So proxy wars basically, if I've got 2 major, say I've got Yuan Shao who's building up, and I've got Don Ming who's building up at, you know, or Dong Zhao or whatever, and they're both building up, and I'm thinking, look, one of them's going to attack me. What I can do is actually diplomatically, I can go into diplomacy, and I can actually start a proxy war between the 2 of them, which will mean they'll actually go to war with each other. And then, you know, basically that helps me because then they're sort of focused on each other. So you can sort of, at times, you can set little wars off between, you know, your rivals and bits and pieces, which makes it a really, really good manipulative diplomatic game, which is quite fun. Now, in Legendary difficulty, you do need to use this, and you do really need to make sure you're paying attention to it. Influence diplomatic relations, credibility recovers over time, diplomatic manipulation is the focus, the playstyle focus. Now, his unique units, he gets the Tiger and Leopard Cavalry. These are the medium, and then you get the heavies here, which are really, really good. They're just heavy cav, and they are really good. And you'll start with 1 unit of heavy cav pretty early on. Very, very, very good units. Cannot stress enough how good they are. Now, on those farming chains, when you get into a building structure or a province that has a farming in it, you can actually convert it into a farming garrison using Cao Cao when you play Cao Cao. And this is his unique faction chain. It just changes a little bit of the stats that you get from that. You're still getting food, but you also get replenishment and other bits and pieces. Now, the other one that he has, and this is his unique building chain, is the conscription, so military build-up chain, and this just helps you with everything military. It gives you extra seasonal retinues, food from farming, deployment costs are down, and starting ranks go up. So it is a really strong chain, and needs to be used sort of in consignment with the green chain, so population growth and bits and pieces, because it actually does pull down your population. So you kind of want to buff. You're going to be using very much the green chain of the reforms and the red chain together on this one. He does start with Shahudun. I'm sure I've completely wrecked that. It's Shahudun. So X is usually pronounced as like an S. So you got Shahu Yoan and Shahudun. I've totally probably butchered them. But anyway, this guy was my favorite guy in Dynasty Warriors. I loved him. His little eye patch, he was such a cool guy. So as always, guys, we're on Legendary, as I said before. Let's get into them and let the game play through the cinematics, and then we'll get into it after that. All right, see you soon.
Embers rise, stark against the night. The tyrant Dong Zhuo wields the flames of destruction. Luoyang burns, chaos ignites, as the power of the eunuchs is crushed. In the pyre, the hand falters. Opportunity glimmers in the darkness. One's weakness is another's strength. Cao Cao observes and prepares. The moment approaches. Order will be restored, no matter the cost. China is in turmoil. The great empire of the Han, stretching back ages beyond counting, is being devoured by corruption. The Yellow Turbans, thousands strong, began raising their banners in rebellion and seizing commanderies across the realm. In response, generals loyal to the Emperor rose up and put down the rebellion. Yet, despite the victory, the chaos only grew. With the corruption at the very heart of the Empire, the loyal generals stormed the Imperial Palace and killed the 10 eunuchs, the source of China's ills. In the madness, the warlord Dong Zhuo seized the Emperor. With the great warrior Lü Bu at his side, none dared oppose him. In response to Dong Zhuo's brazen display, treason some call it, a coalition of warlords rose up, led by the charismatic Yuan Shao, to save the Han. Faced with united opposition, Dong Zhuo retreated west to his stronghold of Chang'an, razing the old capital Luoyang to the ground as he fled. It is now the year 190 CE, and the coalition has all but collapsed. Warlords on all sides have seen opportunities to build their own fortunes from the chaos. Yellow turban remnants still stalk the lands, seeking the age of the yellow sky, whilst soldiers of fortune feel the change of fate on the wind and strike out on their own. The scales shift, and China hangs in the balance. The flames have run their course. Luoyang is nothing but rubble now. It is the work of the tyrant Dong Zhuo, who now wields power unchecked. He absconds with the Emperor in tow. He is barbaric, but not altogether unwise. As long as he controls the court, he controls the Empire.
In peace, I shall be an able subject. In chaos, a crafty hero.
What of the coalition, my lord? They have...
The coalition is finished. They have lost their bite. But perhaps they can be rallied into something resembling their old strength. It seems that I must be the blade of China's justice. There is no other who can. Man's span of life, whether long or short, depends not on heaven alone.
Alrighty. Be wary of Yuan Shu to the west and Tao Quan to the east. Claim the neighboring Han Empire regions. So that's our start off there, guys. Yuan, okay. Shu Dong shows men. Xiao Sai prepares to fight. So we got to fight this first one. As always, guys, this episode will be an hour long, followed by a 45-minute for the second one. Whatever we get the most likes and comments out of will be the one that we continue as our main campaign, our main legendary campaign. But we'll start off with the first two episodes. And as always, guys, I will not take the timers out because they're very short on this game, rather than Total War Warhammer, which is a bit longer. So, but if it's annoying, do let me know in the comments below. I will just auto-resolve or delegate anything that's decisive victory. Anything that needs to be fought, we'll fight. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. So delegating these ones here. So if I'm going to lose a lot of troops or, You know, because there's a lot of battles in this one here where it'll say that you'll lose it or it's decisive and then you fight it and it's an easy win. There is still, as of this recording at the moment, we're going to take the military supplies. There's still, I think, an overbalance with turrets. This game's turrets are still way too strong. But I think that's more balanced around the romance mode because these heroes are so ridiculously powerful. In the records mode, things are a little bit more tactical. You have a retinue of horse.
Your general's bonds will deepen as friends or rivals.
Okay, cool. You get the horse rather than having just one really strong general. That's pretty much the major change to it. The general and their abilities can like absolutely wreck face. What did we get? We got 6 expertise, 6 satisfaction, and retinue upkeep. That's actually pretty good. Expertise and satisfaction, that's pretty good too. So let's check out our guys here. Now, Sal's retinue is going to be fairly expensive because we're going to have some heavy Tiger Cav in there. So I am going to want to put that on him. Keep that retinue cost down. And what have we got? And wedge formation, which is great for his retinue as well. That's really good. So we can now pop them into a wedge. I think you can already do that with them. You might have already been able to, I don't know. But anyway, Zahudun won't need that anyway, so. Do let me know if I'm pronouncing that right, if you're watching. We need to pop this on. He does, expertise will give him some melee evasion. So melee evasion is actually pretty good for a champion. Because they're going to go into battle 1-to-1. So green and purple green, purple, and red are probably the 3 best for a champion to be going after because the red will give you melee damage, which is great. This one just gives you health, so you can just sit in the fight for longer. And this one gives you melee evasion, which is also nice. So, pretty much the first step here, guys, and remember what we said, so you got Yuan Shao up here and Dong Zhou, and they're our enemies. Then you got a heap of sort of little tiny factions around you. You got Liu Bei, who's starting over here, and Tao Quan, I think it is, over here. And it really depends on whether you want to, if you follow the storyline, it actually makes the game a lot harder. So this one's going to be a Ferric victory. Now let's have a quick look at the map. So this one makes a big difference. If you're just playing an open field like this, no problem. But if you're playing like something with choke points and you're getting Ferric victory, you almost want to delegate it. Because as long as it's green, you will win the match. Like that's the difference here between Total War, Warhammer, and Three Kingdoms. If it's green, no matter how bad it says, you're going to win. If it's red, you're going to 100% lose. So you know the outcome 100%. However, then if you fight the battle, you can change the outcome. I would put it to you this way. Sometimes you're better off fighting it. Sometimes you're better off auto-resolving it. Because there's some matches, if you don't auto-resolve, you will just lose 100%. You won't beat it. And there are others that if you do auto-resolve it, you're going to lose when you could have won. I'll try to tell you the difference as we go through. So we're not going to delegate this one. We're going to start this battle and get it rolling because I don't want to lose that many troops.
China is in chaos. Yet through this chaos, I have found opportunity. These people, these bickering people, they stack so well. It makes them easier to order, to control. I alone will bring peace to China. Those who stand against me will vanish.
All right. So what do we got here? How are we going to do this? So we've got some cav here. So I'm going to want them now. This particular map, every single time I play this map on this hill, I think it's that hill, is it? Yeah. I think it's this hill here. They almost always line up on there with this hill, with the hill to their back. You very rarely find them anywhere else. So we're gonna pop you over there, and we're gonna put Zahudun with you, and we'll group you into one. This will be our hard punching backline cav. They'll be taking out archers and bits and pieces. I don't think they had archers, if I'm remembering correctly. They definitely didn't have any cav. We're going to keep Cao with the main army here. We'll just spread it out like this. That's good enough. We're just going to pop them in 2 and we'll group them so they stay in that formation. Let's start the battle up here. Oh, there you go. That's a first. All right, so we're going to move them... How do we... We're going to want to flank around the right here. So let's move them out here. One of the criticisms I actually have for this game is the maps are, I think, too big. They're too big. You end up running for half an hour before you get into battle. I mean, it's like artificially slowing the battle down. I find the pace of the battles here quite nice. I don't mind the pace of the battles, but this part of the pacing is not to my liking. I mean, this is kind of boring. And you're just running, like, you don't want to tire out your troops. So then you gotta, because very rarely will they come to you. Very rarely. You'll find more often or not, you'll be attacking or they'll be attacking you and you'll be in a stronghold. So for my money, it's kind of a little boring. I don't, like, you start so far apart and the map is so big. And again, you don't want to be running everywhere because you're just tiring your troops. It's not as bad on the romance mode because fatigue plays a lesser role. But if you're playing the records mode, fatigue plays a massive part of the game. It's probably more prevalent even than it is in Total War Warhammer. So you really, really want to be careful of that and not run your troops. You just want to walk them. As I said, it's not as bad. I almost think that the romance mode is a little bit easier in some regards. In some regards it's easier, in some other regards it's harder. Like in the records mode, if you have a general, he's going to have a retinue. So you, instead of having this awesome single character like Total Warhammer type style strength with all these great abilities, he's more of a proper buffer. He'll be sitting in a retinue like this. You know, towers can take them out. It's much easier to take the generals out. They have less effective buffs. We are going to just... What are we doing here? Don't do that. There we go. All right, we just need to be careful of Cao. When they're in... The other thing is, while they're by themselves, they quite often have this habit of just running ahead of the army. So you got to be careful of that. We're going to pull around to the side here. So I kind of... Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. What I'm doing here is I'm forcing the computer to make a decision. Are you going to... He has got some spear over this side, which we're going to get around. We're going to throw these guys. Just remember that when you auto group, your G group up, and then you press forward, they won't charge. They'll just walk into the enemy, so you don't get your charge bonus. So you do have to do the individual, obviously, attacks. We're going to send you right into those back lines. Archers, I want you weakening up the... yeah, start weakening up this stuff over here for me. I'm going to go over here. Right, so we have forced them through. Let's get Cao into there. And we'll do that, which ups our melee evasion for all of our units. We're going to send these guys into here. Heavy cav. See, now these guys are engaged. We should be right. There is no general here, so we can just sort of run him in. Be very careful with your champions throwing them into any sort of form. Like if you throw a champion, he is on a horse, so he will get anti-large from most of this spear. So something just to be aware of. And not so bad with the commanders, but the champions just do not do well mixing with a heap of units. The Vanguard are fine. The Vanguard can go into just about anything and wreck face on their own. Any formation. All right, so we've dismantled their main power. So remember that cavalry and archers are really this game's damage dealers. They are amazingly good damage dealers. The archers need to get fairly decent line of sight, not as much as Warhammer, but they can just whittle away stuff very well. And then cavalry is just pure amazement. Let's go in for... Okay. Yeah, they're really, really good. Cavalry is very, very strong in this particular game. So it's something to really be aware of. It makes the difference. All right, we're going to have the Cav chase them down and wreck them. Cao Cao's still doing their job there. Let's charge these guys in the rear. He's just wrecking them, so that's good. So yeah, his special ability that he starts off with will give you melee evasion and a charge resistance, which is great. With him, you're getting a speed debuff and a cooldown for all special abilities, which is really good, which makes him just very good at chasing down generals and smacking them. All right, so that charge in the rear from the heavy just took him out, and that's that. So yeah, that's pretty much the game. Let's claim victory now and get into it. Excuse me, I plug the old headphones in here. All right. So not bad. Not bad at all. It was a close victory rather than Ferric, which was good. Yeah. We're gonna look at MVP. Yeah, sword and board at the front. Sorry, spear and board there made some pretty good. They were MVP, most valuable player. What did we get? 120 on the archers was MVP. Oh, hang on, that wasn't it. Yeah, sorry, 85, 176 for the heavy cav. I'm looking at the health strength. 176 for that one, which was good. Heavy cav, just smashing. All right, so support from the people. We get +5 public order, +25 faction support. Very, very nice. Salsa administrates firmly but fairly. Construct and upgrade a building in Chen Town. Your economy grows. +20 construction costs. -20 construction, minus construction time. So, Sao. Yep. So with those bonuses, let's hang on one second. All right. So we got Sao here. What do we want to do? Recruitment cost, melee damage. Resolve gives him health. So redeployment cost and replenishment. Replenishment is the big thing here, guys, because you're only going to have one army sort of start with, and so you need to replenish as quickly as you can. So this is one that I will go for. I tend to really focus on replenishment because replenishment is key. Like getting your troops back into the fight quickly is amazing. Plus, in this case, we're getting a redeployment cost, which is it's okay. The replenishment's amazing, and then resolve just gives him health. Right, so it's just giving your general more health and population growth if he's administering. He's not, but the health is really, really good. This is your faction leader, so you don't want him getting wiped out. So really good there. Now, we've got two choices here. This is old. We've got two choices here. So we'll go to Chen. Now, remember, we've got that big debuff. We've got construction costs coming down and the cost of construction coming down. So that's... you know, you've got that buff for a couple of terms. So yeah, we could spend some points into here and we could get some more food going. We've got food already, so we're at +4 on food, so not too bad here. We could bring in his constriction chain, which is good. It'll minus our population growth. It'll give us a 2 for recruits, which is nice because we will be recruiting. Improves your new recruits and food production. That's the general, and the construction of buildings down by 10%, which is also nice. However, we've already got a 20% construction cost reduction. This will give us prestige, population growth, plus extra income from peasantry, income from commerce. So this is the way to go while we've got that. Well, we've got those reductions. Also, we want to get walls around this settlement as quickly as we can because we're going to find that the campaign is going to take us south fairly quickly. So we're going to want to be able to defend this because remember, Yuan Shao and Dongmin are our main enemies, and they're up the top here. So we just want to be very aware of them. Now, in order to make this commandery, I've got to take this one and this one. Something to be aware of is that you're going to get, there's a good chance Wang Lang's going to attack you, and you are going to get a story request for Tao Quan here. Basically, I don't want to spoil things, but he's going to, for reasons, he's going to be attacking you. So you got to be aware of that, and you've got two choices here: to go to war with him or not. If you follow the story, you're going to go to war with him, which means you're going to have war on most sides. If you don't, then you just got to sort of worry about here, and you can kind of clean up around here. The other thing you got to remember is below this river that runs through here, you've got the whole eastern side of China, which basically you've got Sun Jian down here, and then you've got Shi Hu down in the corner here. And otherwise, there's just a heap of territory. He's just going to expand really quickly. There's no major lords down here. There's 2 major lords, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, you've got tiny little undefended Han territories, as you would have seen if you've watched my Sun Jian legendary campaign start. And he just grows really, really quickly. Now, he generally won't come over the border too much until he's sort of taken everything, and then he'll come over. But when he does, he's going to be super powerful. So it's something you got to be aware of. You know, Sun Jian gets this massive big leap where he can take off, where everybody else is fighting tooth and nail the whole time with all these other major lords, and they're getting attacked constantly. So something he's going to, the sleeping dragon down here is going to come roaring over this river. So early on, something that I tend to try to do is come down here and make a coalition with him, so I don't have to worry about him so much, and I can just focus on fighting on my northern, western, or not so much. If I can sort of take this corner here and coalition with him, then all I have to worry about is my northern and western borders. I don't have to worry about my eastern borders as much, because we've got the sea here, and my southern borders, I'll have a coalition with Sun Jian, and he'll have this whole corner. So that's one of the big things about this particular game. And it's true of all the Total Wars, but especially this one. And this is what makes Cao Cao a little bit harder. He's sort of stuck in the middle, you know what I mean? And he hasn't got a lot of friends around him. And so you really have to try and pull yourself a defensible corridor, because you can't just be spawning out army after army after army. You just can't afford it. So you kind of got to find yourself a corner and then build out. This allows you... Like, you don't want war on all sides. If you can reduce it to 2 flanks, you know, your north and your eastern flanks, then you've got a lot better chance of defending them with less armies. As I said, remember, you can't just keep fielding army after army to defend everything. So if you just build in a circle out, eventually you're going to have everyone attacking you all around, and you're just not going to have the armies to defend, and then they're going to pick you apart. So yeah, you got to sort of find a corner and sort of try and, you know, reduce the amount of flanks you're under attack. But anyway, let's keep moving on. We are pretty much done here. We're going to move on to our next turn. That's something to think about when you first start any legendary campaign. Remember, you're always going to have public order issues, generally. You're going to have every enemy you face is going to have a lot more armies than you. And one of the big things in this is trying to expand, you know, because it's big territory. So that is the struggle with legendary. Expanding isn't that hard in this game. It's actually not hard at all. Keeping it is the hard point. Keeping it is the hard point. Okay, now we've got 2 options. We can head north and take the farmland, or we can head south. Now, I would rather, I know we're going to get into a war here, so I'd much rather head south and start securing this. If I can get sort of Liu Bei on fairly good terms as quickly as possible, then I won't have to worry as much. So one of the things I'm going to want to do here is probably, if we take this, we're going to need the temple. I kind of want to take Wang Lang out fairly quickly, but we're going to need to get some food happening. Oh, we went just over, so let's pull back a little bit. So we're going to recruit now. And to start off with, we are going to... Have we got anybody we actually like? All right, so he doesn't like Shahudun. He doesn't like either of you. So there's not really... I mean, we do kind of want Jahuan in there as well, because he's Cav, but remember, we already have a Cav General, so I kind of would like more. Something with a little bit more punch to it. We've already got a main block line here, so don't really need that. Lady Brown we're going to use as a court noble. Okay, so let's wait, and we will recruit into Jahudun's first. Okay, so what do we want to do here? I think what we're going to do is give ourselves two more of those. Yeah, for our flanks. Spear is good. Anti-cav. Yep. Okay. And then here, I'm gonna get one more of those for now. We'll probably change that up in a bit, but that just gives us 2 archers. We got 2 archers, 2 cav, and then we've now got very good protection on our flanks for anti-cav. Not as important early on, but still well worth it. All right, and good missile defense as well. Okay, so we'll start building here and we'll get going. So the first couple of turns here with Cao Cao, you just kind of want to build up. You're going to be having loads and loads of fighting going pretty quickly. Now Leo Dai wants a trade agreement. Now you can give him a trade agreement. Just remember you only have so many trade agreements per level unless you go into the blue tree to get more trade agreements. He's a tiny little city up here. He's not going to give you a lot of defense. He's not going to really hassle you. So I'm actually going to reject this because I want to use my trade agreement as a positive to give me a coalition with a larger faction that's going to be more dangerous to me. That's something you sort of want to, like, don't just get the give that trade agreement because it can be used as a positive factor to influence a good relationship with someone better. We're going to wait, I think, one more turn. We'll probably recruit up. What have we got? We need a couple more archers, don't we? How are we going? Have we got someone we might be able to... I really want a strategist. Yeah. I mean, I could put him in there, but I want a strategist. Strategists are a lot cheaper. They're cheaper, and at this point, a little bit easier because we're going to be taking cities, so we want catapults. So we're going to wait a little bit more. Yeah. And keep recruiting here. Keep recruiting, keep recruiting. Oh, that's interesting. Very interesting. All right. He's not on forced march, so he will... How are we going here? You got one more turn for this. What's the garrison look like?
To make way for spring. Not possible. The earth must first be cleared. Restore harmony.
Very interesting. We might just... There we go. Close victory. All right, looks like we're going to fight this one. That's unusual. You don't usually get that. I like it though. It's good fun. All right, so what has he got? He's got 1 cav unit. He's got 3 peasant anti-cav. They're not very good anti-cav, and he's got 2 bow. So we're going to be looking to take out that cav and those bow. They're really the danger to us. So we can afford to send... We can definitely afford to send at least 1 or 2 units of our spear off to deal with the cav. And then we will overwhelm his front line fairly easily and then charge from the rear. So this should not be a close battle at all. Like, there's actually no reason for this to be a close battle. Now let's separate our cav out. They have 1 general, right? So in this case, so remember that his special ability here, charge resistance, melee evasion, really, really, really good. So we're gonna pop you over here again. Turn this into a grouping, and he's gonna be hitting that rear line and then also going after the leader. What are we gonna do here? Let's have a look at formations. we're gonna want... One second. Let's group that up. Yeah, all good, all good. Now let's have a look at the formation here. We're gonna want, what have we got? Horse. Archers in the front, spear on either side. The archers in the front there. We've got two spear. Yep, sword in the center, so our flanks are good for the horse. Cao Cao's in the back here, great. And then we got the archers here in the front. Excellent. Okay, perfect. So we will G group them up into two. Let's start the battle and let's start moving. Whoop. Why did you do that? It's very odd. Move to here. Let's move our cav on the right here. Okay, so he's got two archers. He's got them sitting in the back lines here, which means our archers are actually going to, because they're in the front of the lines, or they were, they're not anymore. We're going to have to change that up again. Here we go. Okay, so you need to look at they're going to be coming out to about here. So he should be out of range there. Where now? Why didn't you? Okay, these guys are locked up now. They should be right. Here they go. All right, let's move them in. Why are you doing that? There we go. And the archers will start firing first. We want to get the archers firing on anything that doesn't have a shield. Just remember that. So most of his front line doesn't. So we're going to get rid of those peasant archers there. Because they are the danger to our cav here. He's got some cav here, but we'll be able to deal with that fairly quickly. His archers are there. So again, we're forcing. We're going to take that... We've got that charge bonus. We're going to hit the melee evasion. Duration is 30 seconds. So I'm going to wait for a second. We're going to send the heavy cav into that line. Let's chase after them, into them. Remember that you do need to make this happen like this. Otherwise, it's not going to happen at all. Heavy cav into them. They'll be able to deal with that. Lighter cav into the back there. Now, he won't accept a duel. They just can't, but that's okay. We can send him after them. Okay, so the general... Not really sure why that's working, but there we go. We're straight after their general. Units are on the back there. Excellent. Our heavy cav is easily winning that battle, which is great. It's just smashed them, which is great. We're going to chase them down a little bit, just make sure they don't come back. Cao Cao's just absolutely smacking shit around, which is great. Archers are doing their job. Heavy cav's doing theirs. Shahudun is just bullying this strategist. All good, all good. Alright, so they should be good and well done now. Yeah, after them is fine. Pull the cav around the back here. There we go. And that's that. So we dismantled them. Remember that this game is almost a decisive victory. So a big difference, as you can see. Remember that this game is also, it's very much a paper, scissors, rock game, yeah? You've got to... I mean, one of the ways that this changes from Total War, Warhammer, is that, you know, without adding all this different schools of magic and all these amazing magical abilities and massive dragons and, you know, stuff like that, it brings the campaign... Total War 3 Kingdoms campaign is far more complex. The diplomacy is amazing. Trade and spying could use more work. I feel like if they'd put as much effort into trade and spying as they did just general diplomacy, the campaign would be even better. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is by far the best campaign of any Total War I think I've ever seen. I mean, Rome, once it had all its upgrades and everything, was very good too. We're good for military supplies. It's only 3 replenishments, so it's not amazing. Income is 316, so we'll just take it. It's a bit of income. I generally don't take replenishment unless it's at least sort of 5, unless I'm desperate for replenishment or I know I'm definitely going to be having lots of battles afterwards. He's now too weak to really do a lot to us. He's not going to, that is not going to be able to take our garrison here. I can't move to engage him at this point anyway, so there's really not a lot else to do. We could recruit up again. Now, I don't think we'll have... now we actually have one. So we could, if we wish, go and grab another one here. That's another Vanguard, I don't need him. And these two I don't really need. He doesn't like, okay. He doesn't like, okay. Cao Song. Cao Song is Cao Cao's father, by the way. And then lady, anything that says lady, that means it's your wife. So lady anything is that's going to mean she's your wife. Cao Cao has a bit of funny sort of family, inter-family stuff right now. So he likes both of them. So he would be a good one. Also, his upkeep cost is very low, which just makes it a little bit cheaper for you. This guy is great, but it's just giving you a heap more cav. Now, cav are great, don't get me wrong, but you're already kind of getting the cav here with Cao Cao. Having 4 cav is good because then you can hit 4 archers very, very quickly, which is great. But it is expensive. Cavalry is expensive. Vanguards are expensive. And to be fair, they make better, you know, in Romance, you're going to be getting a lot of jewels and bits and pieces. All right, so we're going to wait on that one, I think. We're just going to sit back. We're still recruiting. I don't want to get another archer yet because we're going to probably get another archer series here, and then we'll fill this up with archers, so we won't need more. So I don't really want to spend money we don't need to spend. Right, so we're going to our reforms tree. So one of the big things is his main building chain that we talked about before. So if we quickly go in here and we have a look at our main building chain, here is his main building chain here. Right, now this is his unique faction chain. And as you can see, going right up, you get +3 seasonal retinue deployments, which means you can pretty much just bang out a full army of 3 different retinues straight off the bat. You don't need to wait because there's a cap on how much you can do. You are getting a -16k population growth from this. This is a local county. -8 redeployment costs, which means it's costing you a lot less to redeploy units that you've already sort of got. +50 food production, which is nice. And then you get +3 starting rank for all recruits, local army. So again, it makes it very easy for you to recruit an army on the spot. As long as you got the cash, you can do it, right? And then government buildings construction cost reduction -15%. So again, making things a little bit cheaper. Now you will need grain to do it. So what it really, and then you've got this one here. Now this one here is, like I said, grain. You've got grain farms, right? Grain estates, that would be the normal. Now you've got grain farm garrison. So this changes it a little bit. So you get replenishment, reserve, food production, prestige, and then military construction comes down from there. So it makes constructing anything military-wise very, very cheap. So you kind of, when you read all that and you put it all together, it really pushes you down to this end of the tree. You're going to need that population growth to, well, basically getting food production, replenishment. Again, remember what I said about replenishment. So you get 2% from here. You get another, I think there's then more food production, income from peasantry, which is obviously your building. And so it's quite good. Now, it also gives you these guys here, because once you get the green tree and the red tree together, what it gives you is the Jade Dragons, who are very, very good heavy spear cavalry. So you've already got the Tigers, but these guys are very good. I actually haven't looked at the stats to see which one's better, but we can do that. So the green tree really plays into him, because what is going to happen here, and just quickly before I go any further, we're going to go with that there, right? So that'll offset some of the D bonus or the penalty for the building our unique penalty chain. So what you find is a lot of this central area and down the corner. So Cao Cao actually took in the law. He actually took this. Sun Jian took this sort of side around here. So he sort of took around here in like the historical, and Cao Cao was sort of here, and I think Liu Bei was over here. And I think he sort of had spots. So that's the actual historical down here. So you're going to get a lot of, you basically become the breadbasket. So you use food to use that as a manipulation with your diplomacy. So you then got proxy wars, you can get spying going, and then you can also, you're going to have a lot of food. So that's one of those things, it just gives you a lot of food. And the food then allows you to sell the food or to use it as trading and diplomacy tools, and also to feed your armies and make sure that things are going. So the sort of the keys to Cao Cao are really good food production, along with a lot of sort of military build-up, so that you get lots of men. Anyway, so let's keep moving. We've got everything sort of developing here nicely. We should have enough to be able to come down here and take this. He's now wrecked, so we don't have to worry too much about him. We can keep sort of moving down here. This won't be too much of a problem. You are getting you are getting public order problems from having him in here, but he's not going to be able to do much to you. And our city will be up to its next level. I think it should have, yeah, it's now, our economy grows, construction costs, yep, so beautiful. Mission successful, plus 50 bonus experience for units per season, plus 10 replenishment, really, really nice. Okay, so we're getting really good replenishment now. So he's up here. He will give us a debuff, but he won't be able to do much. We've now got... we don't. We need it. We need walls for the second one. Let's have a look at our garrison. 2 and 2. What have you got left? Yeah, we're still going to have to go back here and run him off. Just make sure. I thought we'd have the walls there. I miscalculated that one, but that's okay. So what I want to get going here pretty quickly is I want to get a bread basket. I want to make sure we've got food both to trade and to make sure we're all good. By doing this up, I make sure that our farm gets as much troops to defend it as we can. So that is important. But what I kind of want to do here, if I go for this, it'll pull down the growth. It gives us starting rank for new recruits, which is nice. Improves new recruits and food production, right? Government buildings, bits and pieces. As we go up to the second level, seasonal retinue, starting recruit, ranks, government buildings, seasonal retinue, redeployment costs, food production, but you don't get that till level 4. So that's something you've just got to be aware of, yeah? Getting plus 25 food production, but you're getting a negative, massive penalty to your growth. So early on, you don't really want to do that. I do want to get one of these in there fairly quickly. But the first thing I'm going to do is the government support building. Now, what this does is basically gives us income from peasantry and income from food production, which, plus 25 food production. So this is just sort of synergizes really well. The other ones you can sort of go down to is you could do something like this, which gives you prestige and then income from all resources, which is nice. Confucius Temple's okay. And then you've got the income from peasantry again. So the yellow sort of tree and the green tree and the red tree, again, are quite good in Cao Cao's area. But we're going to start with the green, and so we'll get government support here. This is going to buff both this building and this building and this building. So this one building then buffs all 3 of these ones. So, and then when we build up again, we'll put a garrison in there to try and defend our city a little bit better. Just give it a small little garrison. So pretty much that's how we're going. I think that's all pretty good. We are going to hit this guy. And then we can go up here or we can go down here. Now this is part of our commandery. So we could definitely head and hit this one if we want to. I normally don't. I want to head down here because we are going to get this battle happening pretty soon. If we head too far north, Wang Lang is going to more than likely go to war with us. Wherever you're weakest on Legendary, that's exactly where all of a sudden this person you thought was amazing, unless you've got an alliance or something with them, they're going to come at you. So something to be aware of. In Legendary, your borders are not secure unless you have like a non-aggression, and even non-aggressions, they will break at times. It will just happen. All right. So he's buggered off, so we're fairly okay now. This farm I want to kind of do up. This is going to give us food production and some income from peasantry. This gives us more income from peasantry, and it's going to help defend our center farm here, and this will come under attack. So you do want to sort of get that up and try and get the garrison going fairly quickly if you can. We're going to start moving back down here now. We're still recruiting. We're almost full, but we're still recruiting. So we'll come back down, start heading down this way. Our income's starting to come up a little bit. We're getting that solid 2K from our family estates there, plus taxation, which is nice. So yeah, not too bad. Building upkeep and salary and then army upkeep are your three main expenditures. So sometimes going into the purple tree to get your building upkeep isn't a bad idea, because you can actually halve that by 50% by going through the fairly early stages of the purple tree. I'll just talk about that real quickly, guys. Some really good ones. I mean, like you might go, I'm saying you go through mostly the green and the red tree. Yes, you should do that, but there are some early stages of each of the trees that are really, really worth doing. So this one here is amazing. Income from peasantry. Now, almost every single lord is going to get at least some, if not a fair amount of money from the peasantry. As you build your main base chains or your cities up, it basically increases your population, which means that's a massive taxable income. So this is an amazing reform to get early on, because 15% is a big chunk. And then you look at it again, you've got 15% from peasantry, which everyone has, regardless. And then you're getting an extra 10 from just all sources, which is just as good as this one, because then you're getting it from peasantry, you're getting it from commerce, you're getting it from trade. Just 10% for all sources, or anything that's all sources, is really, really good. So that's giving you a massive 25% boost to your income for 2 reforms. This is really, really good for cash, especially early on, and it's just going to keep, obviously multiplying and multiplying and growing. So these are very, very good ones to start with. Right here, this is what I was talking about before. Getting a minus 25% for your building income. This is one of your 3 main sources of costs. And then you go up to the next one, it's another 20. So you're dropping 50% of that cost, which is really, really good. So it's something to think about early on, guys. Getting these will just, as I said, they'll just keep multiplying as you go through. Now down here, you're going to get another trade agreement. So trade agreements are pretty good. They're very good at securing allies. So it's great from a diplomatic situation, because it will help to, trade agreements help to basically foster, it's exactly the same as Warhammer, yeah? If you can get a trade agreement, it's just going to help them like you more. So it's very good to get these, if you can sort of pin down your biggest adversaries fairly quickly with trade agreements and coalitions and mutual alliances. This can help. So having this is not a bad thing. So you're talking 5 turns, you're at 10 turns, you're at 15 turns, you're at 20 turns, and we already start with the recruitment, so that's good. Yeah. Some of the early ones here is military supplies, very, very good. Construction costs for military buildings, not as big of a deal, but early on, while your cities are still very indefensible, I suppose is the best way to say it. Being able to get a garrison in them fairly quickly and just add another 6 different unit types plus your lord is pretty good. Very, very good, in fact. I haven't really used these peasant guys much, but you kind of need to get this one and this one in order to go down this tree. Top line for this tree, by the way, is the... where are they? These guys here. is the Azure Dragons. Very, very, very good. Heavy glaive, bow infantry, anti-missile. They don't have a shield, but they have melee defense. You know, they're going to smash Cav because, you know, they're heavy glaive. Heavily armored. They'll wreck most things. They're pretty good. They're all round. I think Seagate in High Elves. Very, very good. Very, very good unit. Very, very good unit. So well worth looking at. Now, we were going to keep moving, weren't we? We're pretty much full at this stage. So how are we going? We got 538. We got a K in the bank there. Can we get our first? No, we can't get him just yet. What's it going to cost us? 1,300, 120. So we can just move up to the border here. Okay. And then we'll wait, and the next turn we can recruit some more. So bearing in mind, we're going to have a battle over here. Yeah. We want us to sort of... Leo Bay is not generally, not always, and very rarely is he fully aggressive. He kind of wants to get into coalitions and kind of, you know, make peace and things like that. So if you can sort of get him into a good position early on, you can sort of take these guys out, and then he'll kind of hold your right flank there, your eastern flank. Again, we want to get in a good place here, hold our southern flank, and then when we have to worry about is our western and northern flanks. Now, at the moment, we've got the Han Empire. They won't. Han Empire will rarely attack you, but Don Ming and Yuan Shu will definitely be coming after you. Yuan Shao, not so much, but you're definitely going to be having Yuan Shu if you don't sort of look after him. So we need to start looking at diplomacy. We'll do a quick deal. Yellow Turbans we're not interested in so much. They may come and attack us, but not at this point. Kong Zhou is over here. He's not really a problem for us. He's not a real problem. So we could give him a non-aggression at this point, and just avoid having to deal with him a little bit later. He's only one, but he's not really going to affect us. So rather just keep him on that side. Military access, we got nothing here. So let's, if we can secure up Liu Bei fairly quickly, where's this going to take us? Yeah, that's an easy, while we're early, that's easy. So let's get him on good terms and get that started fairly quickly. Who else do we want non-aggression with? Wang Lang, we're gonna take Wang Lang out. Zhang Chao, we're probably gonna take out. Liu Dai, I mean, we don't really need him. If we take the Han Empire building here, then his building is there. The problem is, as soon as you take that area, you're now front-facing Yuan Shu and Don Ming. We're gonna get into a massive northern battle. So I kind of want to leave these just to give us a little bit of buffer. At the moment. We will eventually take them. I want to focus coming down here and taking this corner out, and then making a sort of alliance here with Sun Jian to protect my southern flank. We need to stop having wars on all sides. So Liu Bei will be good. Once we take out Wang Lang and Tao Quan, we can sort of deal with that without too much problems. We're going to push down here. Maybe we'll take this one here if we can get there. Yeah. So let's, that's probably enough for now. What I wouldn't mind doing is if we can get Dong Zhao here to, I have to be at peace with him in order to, right, so he's going to come after me one way or the other, so that's fine. Where are you? And we haven't, Yuan Shu has not. Okay, so we don't know about him yet. That's cool. We know it's coming. Yeah, let's upgrade this. This will just give us more income and, you know, compile with all of our food. We've got +5 food now, so we've got enough to keep building our main chain if we want to. Whoops, hang on. Hang on. We were going to do something else this turn, weren't we? No, where'd he go? Oh, bugger. Right. Bugger. We had one here that was happy with both of them, and he's disappeared. Okay. Let's see if we can... Valiant defeat. Let's have a look at the map. Yeah, what has he got? Okay, he's got some archers. We can deal with the archers fairly quickly. And he's got the front line. So he's got... That general will be able to deal with. One general. Jahudun can take him out fairly quickly. The axe cavalry, these axe guys will do damage. That's definitely for sure. We've got 5 bowmen we'll have to deal with. So we can send... We've got 3 to deal with, so we can deal with 3 of them fairly quickly. Our archers can take care of a lot of... They'll be able to take care of these. Now, these guys are spear warriors, so they're a little bit more deadly. So we've got 3 frontline. 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 frontline. We've got 6. We got 7 frontline to their 7 frontline. And we can deal with the archers. So yeah, we could probably take this. Start the battle.
If we are bold and strong, victory will be ours.
Victory.
Now be driven like the hurricane to victory.
All right, let's get this victory. Now, what I could have done is I could have pulled back, waited one turn, recruited one of the strategists in, upped my missile, and then I would have got a decisive victory. But I kind of want to keep moving because we have been sort of stuffing around with that other guy, having to head up north to take him out. So we're going to group up our cav together like this. We're going to put Jahudun again with him, and he has to go after that general. We need to knock that general out fairly quickly. And we need to get into those... He doesn't have any cabs, so we need to get in those archers as quickly as possible. So Cao Cao's going to get into them. Let's change this up a little bit again like we did last time. Excellent. Got our spears on sides. They don't have any cav anyway, but I just like to do that as a good... It's just a good habit to get into, to make sure you're doing that. There you go. Now that's locked up properly. It's a good habit to get into, just setting your units out like this so you don't forget. He's going to be over here somewhere. I kind of want to... They're going to move around that. There we go. That's fine. Horse cav, let's pop you over here. Let's start the battle up. Oh, here they are. So moving up there. I'm going to pull into there. What's he got? Axe. Fairly standard front line. Yeah, so we're going to want to move into the right-hand side. That's a little bit more open. So we're going to pull up to... there. I'm just going to walk them so they don't get wrecked. Okay, let's walk you. Okay, and then we'll speed it up. Now the problem here is you've got this here, so it's going to stuff up your formation as you roll into them, right? So what we're going to do is you want to kind of want to turn them. The trees are going to stuff up our formation again, but not as badly. This is that map I was telling you about. They always sort of seem to... There we go. Right, so this has stuffed up their lines. That's better. Make sure they're walking. This is going to force them to face us because the main threat is there. Then we've got our other horse that are able to get around. Make sure you're out of cav, you're out of range here. Now, see, he's going to pull that out there, but that's fine because we can run around them and break into their rear fairly effectively. Now, just with Cao Cao, we are going to automatically reject any. He's going to be perfectly fine. So let's see if we can get a duel. He's out of range. Negligible, relevant. We'll see if he will. He probably won't. Okay, once we get into formation, we'll start moving in. My archers, I'm going to have them deliberately focusing down. What is this guy got shields? No shields. So the spear is who we want to deal with. So our archers are immediately going to focus in on their spear unit. Probably this one here on... Actually, probably... Yeah, probably this one here. Try and take out their spear, as that's the biggest... That is the biggest. Let's put it back to play. That is the biggest. I suppose the word would be. Want to make sure. We want to make sure that that axe infantry is facing off against our sword infantry. Yeah. If we can. Okay. In they go. Cao Cao is moving in. Zhahudun moving in now. Okay, axe infantry is dying. Moving them in there. Moving them in there. We're going to accept that. He will win that fairly effectively, I think. So our axe infantry is what's going to do damage to us. So we are focusing in on that. Okay, we've got our Cav. There's a battle going on here. You're going to hit that up, which will stop him from using any special powers. Cavalry needs to get in there. Moving in the back. Moving all out through that. Okay, so we're going to up that melee. So now we're getting melee resistance for everyone. Cav is moving into the back here. Okay. Cav into the back. Tie that up. Okay. Cav is in there. He's getting easily mashed there. We need to be careful. We've got some spear there, but we are wrecking. We've pushed into his archers, so they can't really do much. Our archers need to get in here and start attacking this spear. Shooting into the back. So remember, we want to shoot into the backs of them. Okay, so first lot of Zahudun's won that. Let's get him into that. He can just sort of chase down those archers and neutralize that damage. We're going to keep our heavy chasing them down, taking them out. Horse have destroyed that. We're going to pull them out. They're going to keep following, pulling away from these guys here. Zahudun can take out these guys. Now, he, remember, not so good at taking out... Alright, so we want to do a surround here. Keep attacking, keep chasing. These guys are gone. Once they go to that, they're done. These guys may turn this. Probably not. So a heavy Cav is dealing with that. They're dealing with that. There's not much left of these guys. Cavalry, let's pull them back into these archers. Yeah, 38 seconds left on that. We'll just blow that anyway. Okay, archers are pounding the non-shield variant there. The axe are pretty much gone. We should be 23 seconds off on that one. Let's do a rear charge here.
One step closer to victory.
Okay, broken. Attacking. Send the cav after here. He's not quite dealing with all that. Where's the rest of our cav? Yeah, they're chasing. Let's actually send them after them and this cav. No, that's pretty much it. Okay. So this cav after them. This cav after them. Let's get after them. We'll speed this up now. So this is a settlement, so we don't need to worry too much. So Pyrrhic victory, better than valiant defeat. And that one. We didn't lose that much. What did we lose? Our front line took a little bit of a bashing. Who got MVP? Again, heavy cav, 267. So you can see the cav just, wow. Look at the cav. Just amazing. And then followed up, obviously, by the archers. And then your front line basically just there to stick things in place.
My ambition is coming to fruition.
But these guys are costing us a pretty penny. But look how much, I mean, they're worth every cent.
This place is ours now.
Okay, so we have 3 buildings now, so that's gonna be quite good for us. We're gonna probably want to take this small city down here and maybe even the tool makers fairly shortly. However, we need to secure up this flank again. Otherwise, if we keep going down here, we're gonna be fighting on all sides, as I said before. And the further you get away from this end, the more the computer's going, there's nothing here to defend. I can come down here and take this. And so you just sort of got to be aware of that. So we got another livestock farm here, so we can do this up. This will give us income and food, which is nice. But before we keep moving any further, what do we got here? Let's have a look at our court. Okay. That's our father, that's our brother, that's our wife. And these two are our 2 generals. So we sort of, this guy, if we're not going to make him a general and put him in our army, then we do need to do something with him. So we might make him an administrator and have her as our chancellors first off. Now, let's have a quick look at you. Oh, we're an hour and 12 minutes. We'll have to end it there, guys, and we'll move on to the second one. So keep an eye out for the second episode. As always, make sure you hit that like button if you want to see more of Cao Cao's campaign. Whoever gets the most likes, basically, and the most views out of all the ones that we do, I'll continue that one and we'll keep pushing on with that campaign. As always, if you're new around here, then look at that subscribe button there and the right-hand corner under the screen. We do a lot of Total War, and I do anything that's Warhammer. So if you're a Warhammer fan, it's all about that. But I also love this game, so I do a lot of Total War. If you want to support the channel, you can check the links below. Oh, sorry, just before I do, make sure you hit the bell if you're subscribing, so that you actually get told when I put a new video out. Otherwise, yeah, we don't know what's happening with YouTube these days. Sometimes it tells you, sometimes it doesn't. But if you subscribe, hit up the bell as well. That way you'll get told. You get notified. If you want to support the channel, you can check the links below for my Patreon or PayPal. For as little as $1 a month, you can help to support me so I can keep this great content coming to you. Hopefully it's great and you appreciate it. If you don't, then that's cool too. If you want to let me know what you're thinking of the series, or if you're just enjoying it, or you've got any questions, then do hit up the comment section below. I answer every comment, no matter how many there are, okay? Past that, guys, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate your time and enjoy your game. I'll see you on episode 2. Bye.